If you're tired of being a scrawny little twig and want to transform into a brawny beast, you've come to the right place. I'm here to show you how to go from puny to powerful, from weak to wow, and from flabby to fabulous. Now, before we get started, let's be real for a second. Building muscle is tough. It's not like ordering a pizza and magically gaining biceps. But don't worry, because I've got some tips and tricks that are going to make the process a little less painful and a lot more enjoyable. So, grab a protein shake, flex those guns in the mirror, and get ready to learn how to build muscle like a boss. Now, before we start into how to build those biceps and triceps, we gotta know how muscles grow and what's behind them. First things first, let's talk about the basics. Muscles are made up of tiny fibers called myofibrils, and each fiber contains sarcomeres, which are responsible for the contraction and relaxation of the muscle. When we exercise, we create small tears in these fibers, which are then repaired by our body during rest and recovery. This process leads to muscle growth and increased strength. But wait, there's more. Did you know that nutrition also plays a significant role in muscle growth? Yes, what you eat can directly affect the size and strength of your muscles. Anyways, we'll get to more stuff later because we got something more important for you to know. Now let's get into how exactly muscles grow. The process is called muscle hypertrophy, and it occurs in two ways, through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and myofibrillar hypertrophy. Yay, it might sound like a medical, but you could call them a fancy way of saying muscular growth. Remember when we said, when we lift weights, we're putting stress on our muscles. This stress causes our muscle fibers to break down, and then they repair themselves, bigger and stronger than before. Now, in sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, when we lift weights for high reps and with shorter rest periods, we're not just building muscle fibers, we're also increasing the amount of fluid in our muscle cells. This fluid, called sarcoplasm, contains things like glycogen, water, and enzymes. And when we increase the amount of sarcoplasm in our muscles get bigger and more pumped up. Basically, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is like inflating a balloon. The more air you put in, the bigger the balloon gets. The more sarcoplasm you have in your muscle cells, the bigger your muscles get. But wait, there's more. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy also has some other cool benefits. For one, it can increase your endurance by improving your muscle's ability to store glycogen, which is your body's primary fuel source during exercise. Plus, it can give you that pumped feeling that makes you feel like a beast in the gym. Now, before you go rushing off to do high-rep, short-rest workouts every day, it's important to know that sarcoplasmic hypertrophy isn't the only type of muscle growth you should focus on. We have myofibrillar hypertrophy. This refers to the growth and increase in the size of the contractile proteins that make up your muscles. These proteins are called myofibrils, hence the name myofibrillar hypertrophy. So when you train with heavy weights or resistance training, your muscles undergo microtears, which then lead to muscle repair and growth. You're getting it, right? This growth occurs by adding more contractile proteins to your muscle fibers, which makes them stronger and more efficient at contracting. This means that with myofibrillar hypertrophy, you can increase your strength and power, which is super helpful if you're looking to get stronger, lift heavier weights, or even improve your athletic performance. But, and this is a big but, myofibrillar hypertrophy takes time to develop. Unlike sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which is the growth of the non-contractile proteins that make up your muscles and lead to a pumped-up look, myofibrillar hypertrophy takes more time to achieve. This is because your muscles need to adapt and become more efficient at contracting before they can grow more myofibrils. So, don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Stick to your training and be patient. Now, let's talk about how you can train for myofibrillar hypertrophy. The key is to focus on heavy lifting and compound exercises. Compound exercises are movements that work for multiple muscle groups at the same time, like squats, deadlifts, bench presses, and pull-ups. These exercises put a lot of stress on your muscles, which is what triggers the growth response. You should aim to lift heavy weights for fewer reps, typically in the range of 5 reps per set. This will help you build more muscle fibers and stimulate more myofibrillar growth. And if you're wondering if you should focus on myofibrillar hypertrophy or sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, the answer is that you don't have to choose. By incorporating both types of training into your routine, you can maximize your muscle growth and get the best of both worlds. Alright, now you guys know how muscle grows. So, how can we maximize muscle growth? One key factor is progressive overload. This means gradually increasing the weight or resistance of the exercise you're doing to continually challenge your muscles. This way, you'll keep tearing and repairing those muscle fibers, leading to more significant gains in size and strength. But remember, rest and recovery are just as important as the exercise itself. Make sure you're giving your muscles enough time to rest and repair between workouts. Overtraining can lead to injury and slow down your progress. In the end, muscle growth is a complex process that involves tearing and repairing muscle fibers through exercise and proper nutrition. By understanding how muscle hypertrophy works and implementing progressive overload into your workout routine, you can maximize your muscle growth and achieve your fitness goals. Now let's get back to nutrition. Protein is a crucial macronutrient for building muscle. It's made up of amino acids, which are the building blocks of muscle tissue. When you take in protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids, which are then used to repair and rebuild muscle fibers. So, if you're not consuming enough protein, your muscles won't have the necessary building blocks to grow and recover. But protein isn't the only important nutrient for muscle growth. Carbohydrates are also essential. When you lift weights, your body uses stored glycogen or simple carbohydrates for energy. We don't have to stick with fancy names all the time. So if you're not consuming enough carbs, your body will turn to your muscles for energy, essentially breaking down the muscle tissue you're trying to build. Now let's talk about fats. Fats often get a bad rap, but they're actually essential for hormone production. Hormones like testosterone, which plays a significant role in muscle growth, are synthesized from cholesterol. So if you're not consuming enough healthy fats, your body won't have the necessary building blocks to produce hormones like testosterone. But it's not just about what you eat, it's also about when you eat it. To maximize muscle growth, it's essential to consume a post-workout meal containing protein and carbohydrates within 30 minutes to an hour right after your workout. This is known as the anabolic window, and it's when your body is most receptive to nutrients for muscle recovery and growth. In addition to post-workout nutrition, consuming enough calories throughout the day is essential to support muscle growth. If you're not consuming enough calories, your body won't have the energy it needs to build and repair muscle tissue. Now, after watching all of this, I know what you might be thinking, but I don't want to get bulky. Don't worry, consuming enough calories and nutrients to support muscle growth won't automatically make you bulk up. Building muscle is a slow process that requires intense effort, and it's entirely possible to build lean muscle without getting bulky. So ladies, you don't have to worry about that. Everyone has this doubt. First, women don't have enough testosterone to bulk up like men. Testosterone is the hormone responsible for muscle growth, and men naturally have more of it than women do. That's not to say women can't build muscle, but it's going to take a lot more work than it would for a man. So, unless you're taking steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs, you're not going to accidentally turn into the Hulk. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I've seen female bodybuilders who are jacked. And yes, while there are women who have incredible physiques from lifting weights, it's important to remember that they've worked extremely hard to get there. Building muscle takes time, dedication, and a whole lot of effort. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and it's not something that's going to happen by accident. In fact, lifting weights can actually be incredibly beneficial for women. Not only does it help build lean muscle mass, but it can also improve bone density and reduce the risk of osteoporosis. Plus, it's a great way to pump up your metabolism and burn more calories. And who doesn't love feeling strong and powerful? Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but don't worry, you don't have to be a meathead to get results. Just stay consistent, stay motivated, and remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. So go ahead, flex those biceps, show off those quads, and let the gains begin. And if you need a little extra inspiration, drop by our channel to get your daily tips. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep lifting.